let me mention briefly four classic science fiction novels about that notion that there's some kind of evolution leading not just to increased intelligence, but to extrasensory or transcendental powers. One of them is Slan by A.E. Van Vogt. There's a mutant subgroup of people called Slans that develop telepathic ability as well as high intelligence. Two, Odd John by Olaf Stapleton, a relatively unknown masterpiece. Brilliant children who are considered sexual and emotional deviants by society and have to go off and create their own society. Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. Again, that our generation, when we encounter the galactic super beings, can't hack it, but our children develop extrasensory and transcendental characteristics. And most recently, by the brilliant Australian science fiction novelist George Turner, a novel called Brainchild, in which an experiment to make people more experiment leads to incredibly unpredicted consequences, one of which is a super genius visual artist who can make paintings that put you into strange hypnotic states.
Okay, listen, we need to go on to the next call. Thank you. Good evening, you're an hour 25.
Yeah, hello?
Hello? You are on the air.
Yeah, thank you. I saw a show with Leonard Nimoy called In Search Of.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really eerie. Featured a fellow, it was a show on ghost photography, right? And towards the end of the show, there was something very, very eerie. They had this guy who could project his hand over it like a camera and fix an image on a camera without a lens. He did that with his brain, concentrated very heavily.
Well, the problem is, one of the problems is that I'm not saying that things like that can't happen. I am saying that the scientific method, the method of screening out fraud on In Search Of lacks a certain, shall we say, rigor. And, you know, professional hypnotists or professional magicians can do things much more impressive than that with sleight of hand. It's not that this guy didn't do it. It's just that they're so sloppy on shows like that that it's probably more fruitful to speculate how he faked it than it is to figure out how it could be real, because they just don't provide any rigor whatsoever. I just wouldn't spend any time worrying about that.
Well, I understand. A lot of the stuff on In Search Of course, is very speculative, particularly a lot of the historical stuff. But they had film footage of this fellow.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that between the time that he passed his hand over there and the time that they showed you the film, that there wasn't a cut.
I'd rather make better use of Leonard Nimoy and say the Spock character tells us something about intelligence, which is a Spock whose intelligence made him an attractive character on the show and made intelligence attractive to children, combined a inhuman left brain super rational intelligence with his human emotional side. And the message of that is, to be really intelligent, you combine the mechanical and the organic.
Yes, logic is the beginning of wisdom.
Exactly.
God, I love that line. Anyway, thank you very much.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay, we all know Spock's been a very important character in human history and all that stuff, but Nimoy has been very, very serious about this. He's constantly said in interviews and lectures, I am not Spock.
Right.
And that's why he did In Search Of, and it's a breakthrough program, and of course a lot of the stuff's speculative, but a lot of the stuff has a lot of things to offer that a lot of people would rather not venture into.
I like venturing into it. I spent all day down at the Whole Life Expo. It's just that...
There's a lot of junk down there.
Here's my point. I actually believe in a lot of extrasensory things. I also think that most demonstrations thereof, the vast majority, are frauds. I mean, in other words, I can find no evidence to back up anything they're saying. So because I'm looking for the real thing, I want irrefutable proof before I lay out any of my belief. I really want to see it. When I see I'm looking for the equivalent of watching a cigarette ash burn backwards to make a lucky strike. You show me that, and I'll know I've witnessed something that can't be faked.
Well, I can tell you for sure, 80% of the stuff at the Whole Life Expo is a fraud. I can tell you that for sure.
I'll buy that. Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, bye.
Good evening. You're on hour 25.
Yeah, several very quick items. Did you read today's obituary?
Who died?
Fritz Leiber, Saturday,
Oh, no.
age 81, in San Francisco.
It's a shame.
I didn't know.
I didn't think I heard it, so...
I didn't know.
I
saw Fritz a couple months ago. Oh, jeez.
We should do a show about Fritz Leiber.
That would be a very interesting
this was someone that
show, too.
combined everything that was important in intelligence, in creativity, and in compassion as a human being.
Okay, thank you. So what was you wanted to share something else with
A
us?
couple other quick things. You asked at the beginning of the call, and if the readers wanted to increase their intelligence, I don't believe you ever finished defining what you all mean by intelligence. So which intelligence?
Well, I think that
You were careful to leave it open.
Yeah, in other words, there is no really simple definition of intelligence. I think that what you can do is point at your head and say, there's something in there I want to get better at, define it. And since there's so many different aspects of intelligence, ranging from memory to speed of thought to creativity and all sorts of other things, you might as well define for yourself what the pieces are that will lead you to living the kind of life you want to live, and work on those things, and not allow somebody else to define for you what intelligence is.
Okay, good. One story citation I didn't hear, The First Man, short or long story by Howard Fast. The one about raising children with the analogy to feral children.
That's right. Great story.
Okay.
And Randy is more hostile than the saber tooth.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.